Hey y'all, this is Frank the Bigfoot, and you're listening to the Paranormal Punchers.
Hey friends, welcome to another episode of Paranormal Punchers. I'm Mark.
I'm Alicia.
I'm Nash.
I'm Dave.
I almost forgot to order how we do this. It's been so long. It's been so long.
Happy New Year. It's 2024.
Well, not yet.
They don't need to know when we're recording this,
Oh,
man.
right. Okay. Sorry.
Don't break the fourth wall.
Sorry. Like I said, it's been a little while since we did this, so, you know.
It has been, because the last episode, we told you we were going to retire the show and start something different.
But retirement sucks.
But retirement sucks. No, a lot of people reached out, email, direct messages on our Facebook group, and had such wonderful things to say. And we just felt like, you know what? Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
Let's keep this going, but we're going to mix it up. So we're going to do one regular Paranormal Punchers episode that you love.
A month.
And it's going to be just the paranormal topic, no D&D, no movie talk, just do the topic. And then the second episode of the month will be, which we're going to call the Tipsy Cryptid. It's our bar. We're the owners. You get to pull a seat up and listen to us talk about whatever we feel like talking about. Could be
so ideas
weird,
are welcome.
Not be weird.
Yeah. So that's a great forum for whatever anybody wants to talk about. Throw out an idea.
Oh, it'll definitely be weird. I mean, don't
We do weird.
don't sell it short of it won't be weird.
Right.
But
Because if it's not worth checking out.
exactly.
Boom! Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
You picked up on it.
Okay. Still warming up.
That's right. Got to get warmed up. Dave was like, should we tell everybody just how rusty we are? As it took me 5 minutes to set the board up, I should have had that done in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Well,
You got the colors right.
yeah, and
I did. Everybody has their own special cable color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nash, yours is purple.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm green if anybody cares.
Nobody cares. Oh, this is the kind of stuff they don't want to hear.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They want us to get into the paranormal topic. Now,
That'll be next episode.
We
We'll
picked
talk all about
something
this.
because it's 2024. We started the show in 2017. Imagine that. So long ago. But the first topic was the Dyatlov Pass.
Correct.
Yes.
So we're going to kick off 2024 with a topic that's very similar. Also, it took place in Russia, in Siberia, and it was another mysterious situation where hikers went out and never came back.
Here's a fun fact. I didn't really put the two together that the Dyatlov Pass was in Russia.
What?
I'll get to that. I have stuff on that.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought it was in like Montana or something.
This is called the
Okay.
Khamar Daban incident. Or something like that. We're doing great.
Yeah.
We forgot how to
Khamar
podcast.
Daban?
Did you say Daban?
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 I think of it as Daban.
Daban.
I have no idea how to pronounce this, though.
Also known as the Buryatia Dyatlov Pass.
Yep.
And if we're pronouncing things wrong, we're sorry.
Yep.
We're doing our very best.
But that's how you know it's still us.
That's how you know it's authentic.
Yes,
because,
no
you know,
clones. This is not AI. It's really us.
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
you can tell we're a little rusty here.
No, it's more that we don't want any of us to speak.
Yeah. We're all kind of looking at you
okay.
silently like,
on August 2nd, 1993, Lyudmila Korvina, who was an experienced hiking instructor, led 6 of her students on a hiking trip to the Khamar Daban mountain range. She was very familiar with the area, and it was a very popular and safe place to hike. Her students were Alexander Kryson, who was 23, Tatiana, who was 24, 19-year-old Denis Spachkin, Valentina, who was 17, Victoria, who was 16, and 15-year-old Timur. I don't know how to say his name. I'm sorry.
You got to say it with an accent, so maybe it's Timur.
Timur.
I don't know.
It's not Russian.
You know,
But
No.
hey, way to try all that. I would
Yeah.
have been like basically 5 teenagers went out on a hike.
Yeah, pretty much. I know. Sorry. So the group arrived at the mountain range in the town of Marino and were excited for their journey. The weather was also forecasted to be clear and that they would have sunny skies. Their group was one of 3 hiking groups in the area, one of which was actually being led by Lyudmila's daughter, Natalia. Their 2 groups had plans to meet up on August 5th when their hiking routes would cross paths.
And this was summer.
Yes.
This wasn't like middle of winter or anything.
Right. No,
Right,
this was
you know,
in
it's
August.
August 2nd.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you think of mountain ranges, you think of like
Right.
blizzards.
Well, I'm
and
sure
things
it was
that.
like,
No, this wasn't.
It was
this
nice out.
Fair.
It was the
weather.
beginning of
Yeah.
fall.
The
It
one
was
picture I
nice out.
found, the one of the people in the picture, he was wearing a short sleeve shirt, like
Okay.
a t-shirt.
Yeah.
So they had gear for if weather turned bad, because
Right.
yes, you are going up in altitude, but it wasn't.
So they were all they were all dressed for nice weather.
yeah, this wasn't expected to be.
yeah.
Yeah,
A
Now,
murderous event.
correct.
Yeah.
right. The first 2 days of the hike, the group did really well. They beat their time, like, to get up to the peak.
Like their estimated time that
Yeah.
they hit certain checkpoints.
Yeah. However, when they were beginning their descent on August 4th, they were hit with a rainstorm, which slowed them down. With everything soaked and the added weight, everyone was exhausted, so Lyudmila decided to camp out hastily in an exposed location, even though there was tree cover not too far away. And they were not able to start a fire.
It was raining.
Yeah, it was raining. The next morning, they ate breakfast together before
Okay.
heading out.
That's why you couldn't start a fire. It's because it was raining.
Right. So they went to bed probably wet and cold.
Wet,
and
cold.
Yeah.
They had rain gear on.
Yeah.
But it still sucks.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
cold and wet.
So they ate breakfast together before they left that morning. The plan was to meet up with Natalia and her group, but unfortunately, that never happened.
Dun, dun.
The group set off down the mountain, but after only a few minutes, the first disaster struck. Sacha, who was
Alexander.
Alexander, he was at the back. I'm sorry.
Dave, you're on fire. Yeah. Man. Wow. He just jumped.
He was at the back of the group. He began to scream. When everyone turned around to see what was happening, they saw that he was bleeding from his eyes and his ears, as well as frothing at the mouth.
As you do.
He fell to the ground, convulsing.
Just when you're hiking.
All right. He fell to the ground, convulsing, and then went still. Lyudmila ran to him, but told everyone else to just continue on. They did not get very far before they heard Lyudmila cry out.
Just
Sure.
setting the stage, I didn't hear it as just continue on. It was go get to the tree line.
Oh.
Like
Get
go
to the chopper.
Take refuge.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I'm
why
going
would there be
back-
safety in the tree line? What was happening? What was going
Yeah.
on?
Right.
Right.
Because she also succumbed to the same mysterious.
Yeah, so she cried out, and as they turned, they decided to run back to her. They saw that the same thing that had happened to Sacha was happening to her. Her eyes and nose were pouring blood, and she was frothing at the mouth. She convulsed and then collapsed on top of Sacha.
But I heard or I read that before she did that, she started smashing her head.
No, that's somebody
another
else.
group member.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry, the Russian names.
I know. Tatiana, who had gotten to Lyudmila first, was the next to collapse. She started grabbing at her throat as though she couldn't breathe, and then slowly crawled over to a nearby rock where she bashed her own head in.
Bashed her head
That's
against
wow.
this rock.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And she did that until she went limp. Victoria and Timur both ran while Dennis hid behind a rock. Valentina was unable to...
Why would you think that was like, well, hide it
How do
behind
you
a
think
rock.
that's going to help you? I'm just
Yeah.
going to hide behind this rock.
Whatever's affecting all of us
whatever's happening.
simultaneously is not going to see me behind a rock. He went, I am hiding.
Now,
Have a
Valentina.
little bit of respect for the dead.
Valentina was unable to move from fright as she had just witnessed 3 of her friends seemingly die within minutes. Both Victoria and Timur collapsed while running and died in a similar manner, throwing up blood and clawing at their own throats. And then I found one thing, and I'm not sure if this, I only saw it in one place, but like they were tearing their clothes off as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's called paradoxal undressing,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
which is linked to hypothermia.
Right. Yeah, you just want to
Which-
get everything
yeah.
off. Yeah.
Yeah. Realizing they were the only ones left, Valentina and Dennis ran to each other and hurried away from the site of their friend's death. It didn't take long before Dennis collapsed, convulsing. Scared for
So
her
that
life.
rock didn't help him at all.
No. Scared for her life, Valentina ran. She only had a tent and the clothes on her back for supplies. She ran down the mountain until she was certain she was far away from the tragedy that she had just witnessed. She found tree cover, set up the tent for the night, and fell asleep. She wasn't sure if she was actually going to wake up.
Right.
Right. As you would feel that way, you would have to see
Right.
an older. Can you imagine what that would be like? Having just turning around on a nice hike by a lake, you're up on the hills, and you turn around and you see someone with your eyes and ears and all the spots on your face are spouting
Right.
blood. And you're-
Right.
Yeah.
Or your friend bleeding from the eyes, smashing
Yeah.
their head against a rock.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like you would be in full. But what do you even do? How do you
Right.
Right.
try to stop that?
Right.
So when she woke up, she knew immediately that she would need supplies if she was going to survive alone in the wilderness. So
She had to go back.
she went back. She trekked back up the mountain. She got to the site, saw that no one had moved from the spots
that
where
would be
they
a
had
really
fallen.
crappy hike back up
Yeah.
to that spot.
So she quickly just took the supplies that she needed from their bodies and left. For 4 days, she followed power lines down the mountain until she found a river and began to follow that. She was hoping someone would come across her and help her, and by the end of the 4th day, that wish came true. On August 10th, a group of kayakers noticed something in the tree line as they were paddling down the river, a lone girl standing and looking at them. The kayakers got out of their boats, and when they approached her, some sources claimed she was covered in dried blood. The girl became hysterical, trying to tell the kayakers her story. Eventually, she identified herself and said that she had been hiking with 6 others. Horrified, the kayakers took her to the nearest police station where a report was filed. Despite the report she filed to the police, no official search was conducted until the 24th of August, which is, 14
20
days
days.
later?
2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Wait, 14? It was
Yeah,
the 5th.
because it happened on the 10th. She came down the hill.
Yeah, they found
Oh,
her.
right.
The kayakers found her on the 10th. Okay. And it took them 2 days to find the bodies using helicopters. An autopsy report concluded that they had all died of hypothermia, except for Lyudmila, who suffered a heart attack. They all had signs of bruised lungs and protein deficiency due to malnutrition. That was like a contributing factor to their deaths.
Which is
deaths-
odd.
That's all
Yeah,
Right.
BS. That
Very
whole thing is
That-
BS.
Right.
Yeah, that. I also heard that they made the lone survivor. The government made her sign an NDA
Yeah.
that she wouldn't talk about
Right.
anything else except that statement.
Right.
Which right away,
How you get malnutrition for being up there for 5 days?
Right.
Right?
right? They just had breakfast that morning.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And they didn't have like chocolate milk and ho-hos for Pete's sake. I mean, they probably had what you would
That
take.
would at least have protein.
Well, I mean, what could you eat that would encourage malnutrition
Raw
in
sugar.
5 days? That's insane. That's
Right, that
stupid.
doesn't make sense.
That
Now,
doesn't make sense.
one of the theories, if we want to go, that is talking about eating something. One of the theories is they ate some mushrooms
Yeah.
that might have been more on the magical side, and maybe they had a wicked bad trip,
Yeah.
Okay.
which I call that theory. I don't believe that theory.
Right.
I wouldn't say the wicked high trip. It would be more the.
I said wicked
poison-
bad trip.
Wicked bad, but the more the poisonous. I mean the what is
Right,
it?
so they got the
lion's
wrong
mane-
kind, yeah.
Lion's mane, I think, are like
Lions Mane are
But the leader of
those are
the
good.
the leader
ones that look like lions.
the leader of the
White
hike was an expert
mushroomologist.
or forager. She would have known.
Right.
Survival plus 9.
Yeah, she had. Yeah,
Right.
Right.
So I don't know about that theory necessarily.
Now I went to that first. It was like they all had to do something at the same time to get the same result at the same time for all 4 of them, or all 5 of them, or all of them.
It was 6
But
people that died.
right? But that doesn't account for the one girl who survived.
Right.
Now some
Exactly.
of the articles I came across talking about if it was mushrooms, she either A, didn't have much for breakfast, and I would like to say like if you're eating mushrooms. See, I'd be okay because I hate mushrooms.
Oh, I love mushrooms.
Okay, well then you might be bashing your head against that rock. I'd be okay.
Whoa.
My bad. And the theory is maybe she either had a build up a tolerance
Right.
for it, or maybe hardly had any
Right.
of them. Supposedly, if they had mushrooms, had eaten these mushrooms.
Right. Princess Bride style. For the
Right.
The
color.
iocane powder kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Ah,
I'm there with you. I
kept
got you.
using
I
this
got you.
word.
Another theory was that they saw something that they shouldn't have.
Right.
They walked into some kind of Russian military experiment.
But this is a known hiking place.
I know. That was the problem. Was this is a very public and very popular location.
Right.
So
right. You know, and if there's something that you shouldn't see nearby a known hiking area, I mean, that's not smart. I'm not
True. But another prevailing theory, Dave, I'll kick this to you, is that it was nerve gas. Novichok.
No.
Novichok
VX.
gas, which
Novichok
Russia
or VX.
which Russia developed in 1993,
Ah.
the same year this went down.
Yes. And here's, I don't want to say really cool, but here's the really cool thing of that is
The interesting part of it.
the interesting part of it. These gases, VX or Novichok, will linger for 4, 5, 6 months after testing. So
But aren't they soluble in water?
no, they're transferred through water.
Oh, the rain.
The one theory
Yes,
was
the
that
rain.
the rainstorm kicked up what was left from testing from months before and actually transported it. And they are heavier than air, so they're lower to the ground. The thought is that Sacha was walking and stepped in a high concentration of it, which poofed it up. He caught it. When he started...
Everybody went to go see what was happening
So,
with him.
Lyudmila went to see what was happening, and the one report, she gave him CPR. In giving him CPR, she ingested some of the poison.
She did mouth to mouth, yeah.
Yep. When somebody went over to look on her, she bit the person, which transferred the
She went
poison.
almost zombie on him.
Right.
Oh.
Yes.
Right.
And then
wow, I didn't see any of this.
right. And then the other two, it was still just the gas.
They were
transfer.
just biting each other.
Dennis's problem was that he was too low to the ground. He hid behind the rock at ground level. He wasn't high up, but I forget her name now, that survived. She never ducked down. So she was standing the whole time.
She kept her distance from what was going
She
down.
was distanced away
Yeah.
and standing up so that as the gas that was released was transferring down the hill, Dennis caught it.
Yeah.
She didn't. And
All right, so let me pose this. I came across this. So you got this nerve agent,
Right.
heavy rains. It washed it down, but the next day was really nice. The sun came up. Some of the theories is it as the sun was warmer, it started to evaporate up.
Yes.
and they were starting to inhale it.
right.
And then another theory is they might have used some of the water to cook.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kicking it to you.
Well, I mean, I was mostly on the whole, the rainstorm kicked it up and they, So, but yeah, they could have easily.
And again, maybe the lone survivor didn't eat much breakfast.
Right.
Or you're right, she stayed back. So yeah, I can see the sun heating it up, and then as it evaporates up into the air, people are like inhaling in it.
Right, and that is how it disperses. So it's not water soluble, but sunlight does disperse.
That's right out of Batman Begins. They were putting that gas in the water.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
But this is not what happened, though. But go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like that. Their whole premise was when it evaporates.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm. There's also the thought that maybe Valentina's story was inaccurate. So, like, it was such a traumatic experience for her that she kind of misremembered aspects of what actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she was pretty screwed up over the whole thing.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Well, one thing I just want to point out, the autopsies didn't find anything that concluded with what she said. And the question is, was she inaccurate or more? Or were they forced by the government?
Oh, yeah.
If they stumbled onto something and the soldiers took care of them,
Right.
then the autopsy would have been forged. But also, if it was a residual from a previous government experiment, pretty sure the government was
And
going
if
to be
she
like...
really had to sign an NDA.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Which I found that on just one video on YouTube.
Yeah.
I didn't dig deeper to see the accuracy, but
Yeah.
if she had to,
Yeah.
leads to the idea that they're like, hey, shut up, sign this, and shut your mouth.
Right.
Right. Now,
Well, you know what? Before we finish up more theories, why don't we take a quick break,
Okay.
and then we'll come back and wrap this story up.
Nice.
And I'll tell you the correct theory.
Oh gosh, we'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, more theories on what happened to these hikers.
Yep.
so my last one happens to deal with Lake Baikal. Baikal? I don't know how to say
I
it.
thought it was, Baikal, something
Yeah.
like that. It was spelled in different ways a couple different times.
Okay.
Well, it's translating Cyrillic into Latin. So,
Well,
yeah.
okay. Thanks, Dave.
So are we already set up front? We're going to mispronounce everything. Please don't judge us. We're trying our best.
We judge each
But-
other not too much as it is.
This lake is actually below
It's going to phone. Get it. Get it, Nash. Okay.
below the mountain
Yes.
where they were all at.
They started at the lake.
At the foot of the
and
mountain.
worked upwards from there.
Oh, okay.
They started at lake level
Oh, okay.
at Marisker.
For some reason, I thought it was on the other side. Yeah.
No, they started at the lake. They worked their way upwards, and then they were going to meet up with her daughter and come back down and end up at lake level again, but
Okay.
at a distance of many miles.
Right. Right.
I couldn't find where the river was that the kayakers found her.
right.
She went the wrong way.
Is that what it is?
So I don't know how to describe this on a podcast, but they started, let's say, to the east. They worked their way south by southwest and ended up to the west of where they started.
Right.
And that's where the incident happened. They were supposed to continue going north.
kind of like almost like a big horseshoe kind
Correct.
of a thing.
Yeah. They were supposed to go north to meet her daughter and then end up
Coming back
northeast,
down.
coming back down.
Right.
When the incident happened, she went straight south.
Oh.
And so she went the completely wrong way from where she came from
Right.
and where they were going.
So the girl who survived, she wasn't the hiking instructor. She was just one of the students.
Yeah, she was one of the students.
Which one was she? Was she like the youngest kid, or she was?
No, she was 17.
Because I'm thinking the quality of the students. Now, granted, they're students. This must have been like a beginner's hiking adventure.
No,
It had to be.
they were experienced. She knew each of them. Well, Sacha was like her son, her adopted son.
But how could
Yeah.
she be experienced? She went completely the wrong way.
Well,
She just had a traumatic
Well,
experience.
you just
Right.
go back to the lake. It's over there.
no, this isn't. I mean, this is a 4 days hike.
Yeah.
Up a mountain. It's not like the lake's over there. It's she lost situational awareness.
I guess. Fine. I was just thinking that anybody would know the direction of where the lake was, but she took a hard left or something.
All right,
like
let's
that.
drop Nash off in some remote
Yeah.
area.
Yeah,
Right.
if she
See
didn't have
how
a-
well he does.
if she didn't have a compass with her, because that's why she had to go back to get equipment. But who knows? The compasses might have been smashed.
Or they've been going crazy because of some phenomena that's happening in the area, which contributes to one of the theories.
If you let Alicia speak, we may get there.
Well, I imagine I'm not going to go where you're thinking, Nash, but
Never.
I know.
I think most people don't.
Never go
Yeah.
full Nash,
I
okay?
know.
You never do that.
Go full Nash. Yeah, Mark, I'll bet you $100 they'll never align.
That's right.
Yeah, you're
No.
right.
There were declassified files that were released by the Russian government that in 1982, 7 military divers were training in the depths of Lake Baikal when they spied weirdly shaped underwater vehicles that moved far faster than anything that they had at that time. The divers also claim that they came across a squad of silver suit-clad non-human beings at a depth of about 150 feet. These divers attempted to capture some of these unusual humanoids, which resulted in the brutal deaths of 3 of the divers. The 4 survivors were also said to have been severely injured by these creatures. What if they were still in the area?
Yeah.
And they were running an experiment or something.
Nash, aliens.
No.
Well, okay. Then before you, I want to give you your 15 minutes of fame, but the
Wow. Wow.
I hope it's not 15 minutes long.
That is 3 times as long as I normally get.
honestly, being underwater is the scariest thing possible. Mm-hmm. Like,
And
if you
it
see
depends if
random
you-
things in silver suits and you're just going to be like, I'm going to go capture it.
Right.
What is wrong with you?
Right?
Underwater?
Yes.
No, underwater's fine.
But they're Russian. Scared of nothing.
That's right. That's exactly right. They are a stout folk. Mm-hmm. With no fear.
Rus.
That's right. That's right. Is it my turn? Everybody's looking
Yeah,
at
no,
me. Okay,
go
I'm
ahead.
excited.
Go ahead.
Okay, so
What do you think?
during this, I had a bunch of theories that came up as I was listening and reading and doing my research. First, I thought it could have been a Wendigo spirit that people were kind of doing their thing. Then I was like, no, that doesn't quite, Then I thought UFOs, possibly. As it turns out that you had said that the Lake Baikal is the deepest lake in the whole wide world.
Yes.
It's super deep. Go ahead.
Just to give an example of
Yep.
this. This lake is the size of Belgium. It is larger than all of the Great Lakes in North America. And because of its depth, it is the most freshwater, the largest freshwater source of lake in the world. Mm-hmm. This is like enormous. You can't imagine how big this lake is.
And slightly aside from this, it might have a Nessie swimming around in there. It's said to rumored to have.
Is that where you're going?
No, but it's close. It's in the neighborhood.
Trying to get you there, man.
That there is a Nessie swimming around in there. But one of the legends says that there's a portal to another world at the bottom of the lake.
That would make sense.
Yeah, at about 1,642 meters down, that there is a portal to.
Is that how the aliens are going back and forth?
No, Mark, you keep going to aliens. No, it's not aliens. I swear, you.
All right, it's the things in silver suits.
No. Oh, golly, people.
Oh my God, do tell.
That the lake is inhabited, by a powerful spirit that it resides there, the Lake Baikal monster, or the Baikal babushka. Come on, you've all seen John Wick.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the Baikal babushka,
It's not it's not the
the
it's not
hand
called
warmer.
Yeah.
No, it's not that, but
the
the boogeyman.
Baba Yaga.
Is it Baba Yaga?
Yeah, that's what they call John Wick, the Baba Yaga.
Well, this is babushka. I wrote it down.
it's a
for another thing.
Russian.
Babushka isn't that grandmother?
That's
I
grandma.
know, yeah.
Someone's grandma's at the bottom of that lake?
Yeah, that it's a very powerful spirit, and there's
Could be the
And that there
If
is
you've played Skyrim, it's the Night Mother.
It makes a whole different story if John Wick's nickname was the babushka.
He's like, oh, have some soup, some borscht here for you. You'll love it.
Yeah, but have you ever angered a grandmother? Like, it's hard to do, but when you do,
you get you get the wooden spoons, you get the bottom of your flip flop, whatever it can smack you with. That there also is because of that portal to another world. I had never thought of that the pudding skin would be in the bottom of this giant lake, but there is an escaped spirit wandering around these hills called Leshy. Leshy is one that doesn't hang out in the water because grandma's in the water and she'll kick his ass, but wanders around those hills and was possessing people in the hills. That is what happened to these hikers.
Why do you guys smack on the table?
I know.
To drive the point home.
Recording. Podcast.
I'm driving the point home. There. It doesn't quite make the same point if I just if I like you know.
just need to do sound effects.
Yeah.
Thunk.
Thunk. Whack.
Yeah.
So Leshy was trying to possess these hikers. That's what happened. Why it happened so quickly. Trying to possess one, it didn't work out. Boom, died. Went to the next. Now you could say it was nerve gas, but I mean, come on, it's not nerve gas.
I'm team nerve gas.
No. They were possessed.
But okay,
and that's what made her go off course and go some other direction. An experienced hiker, in quotes, took a big left when
she's still 17. I mean,
Right.
She was a little jacked up. She was a little wasted, and she took off.
She was a little jacked up because her friends just
they were all possessed
bled in front of her.
Yeah, because they didn't.
Bled to death in front
Maybe
of
they
her.
didn't offer a sacrifice on this or give atonement to the spirit mother in the lake.
But as much as
The
it
watery
pains me
tart.
to say, I am actually not agreeing with what happened to the group.
Right.
But I think you're on base with the lake.
Yeah.
So the lake itself is a rift lake, which
Yes.
is where the plates
Where they
of the
continental-
Earth
where they
separate.
come together.
So it's separating, creating this large lake, and at the bottom of it,
Kind of like where the kaijus
absolute-
come from. And
Right.
yes,
absolutely
exactly.
could be a portal.
Yeah.
To something. Now this other spirit coming out, there's actually. They were a distance away from the lake. They weren't.
Well, it wasn't in the lake,
It wasn't
but-
like, the lake's over there. We should
Right.
just go.
But Leshy can't go back. He or she, whatever, can't go back home
Right.
because the grandma's there, the owner of the lake,
Right.
can't get back. Is preventing this Leshy from coming back. So he's kind of pissed off. He's killing people around on his hikes.
Okay.
That is clearly the answer. You're all wrong.
Right. But taking it back to the lake, two different things. The number one, there was an incident in Africa at a lake, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I should have written it down. Where another natural lake, something happened. It was an earthquake or whatever, and it released carbon dioxide that bubbled up, and it killed everybody around the lake. It just suffocated everybody.
Happens to me every night in my family.
Something
That's
bubbles up.
A lot of stuff bubble up.
That's not carbon dioxide.
Nearly. It's mostly methane.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's
A little bit
kind
of
of
sulfur.
close. Yeah, a little bit of sulfur in there.
Continue.
But they were too far away that if the lake had bubbled, they were too far away that too many other people would have died. But there's the chance of sodium cyanide causing this. It could have been a poison that she put in to their waters, and that's why she survived.
There
She was
are
the
people
possessed
saying
one.
like, "Hey,
She was the possessed one.
Right. Or the other side of it is that's what's put into bear and wolf traps in Russia.
Oh.
So if Sacha stepped on a bear or wolf trap,
Or found one or
it
something
would have
like that.
sounded like a gunshot going off. There's an explosion when
Right.
it releases this gas, but it causes these exact same symptoms, and would have again continued. She gave CPR. She would have ingested it. She bit somebody, and who's to say it's eyewitness account of her surviving that the other two just dropped dead, or
Right.
three. Or
Right.
They're really the manner of their
they
death.
could have. They did. If they got near, they
you
could
ever
have
see
gotten.
that? There was a movie called Fallen, though, where that kept transferring next person.
Yes,
such.
that's exactly it.
And it really went down like that.
Right.
Like one person got it, then it transferred. The first person that came in
You just
contact
kind of
with them,
leapt to the next person.
There is one other theory, and it's a far out one,
Okay.
but maybe not. It was the Yeti.
Okay.
Because the Yeti, this was all in a documentary called Yeti Killer. Or no, Killer Yeti on Max that we watched. It was mostly about the Diallo Pass, but then they touched base on this incident we're talking about. And they're talking about the Yeti being able to create an infrasound.
I put a sonic attack.
Sonic attack.
I actually put that in here because it would create it. How many times have you seen it happen to Superman?
Which can create intense fear, paralyzation. Even like they were
eyes
saying
bleeding.
that, like even tigers use it to, you know, when you hear that growl of a tiger, you're instantly like, oh god. I don't know about the bleeding.
Bleeding from the
eyes?
ears, yes. You know,
The eyes.
sonic attack burst the eardrums. You'll bleed from the ears.
Right.
I don't know about bleeding from the eyes.
But I like how when you mentioned like a Wendigo, a spirit that might be on habit. Like some people are blaming it on the Yeti.
Right.
Well, what if it?
See, that's what
something we don't even
That's what I'm kind of saying.
quite understand
what
what
if
it
the
is.
spirit took control of a Yeti?
And the Yeti's walking around laying down infrasound.
Yeah.
Laying down the brown note.
Well, that's a different result, but okay. But that's what I kind of thought. It was like this Leshy was kind of not necessarily creating a Wendigo spirit for these people, but kind of.
Or kind of a version of a Wendigo, but in Russia.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly right.
Interesting. I will lean in Dave.
He's wrong.
His theory, like the nerve gas.
There's no nerve gas.
Like all signs
Yeah.
really point to that.
Team nerve gas.
Nah. Clearly wrong. Way off base.
Haven't you
Either
seen the
way,
documentary?
it was
The
a
Rock?
tragedy. Yeah, it was a tragedy for sure.
With the string of pearls configuration?
Right, but they showed you what happened. I mean, did you see the guy who?
Yeah, he put it in his mouth and he.
No, not that one. At the beginning, when
where they show the footage of what the gas does.
yeah,
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
It's Team nerve gas. VX.
There you go.
I don't know.
Well, no one will ever know because the government has made their decision.
Yep.
They already sealed this case.
And why was the girl covered in blood? I had so many questions about the girl herself.
Yeah.
Why was she was covered in she had to go get supplies. Their supplies wouldn't be on their persons.
They're in
And
backpacks.
Right.
well, why would she be covered in blood though? If you're just going to roll somebody over to get some out of their backpack, you're not going to end up covered in blood.
And unless you touch, you got blood on you, you freak out, you wipe it on your clothes.
Yeah, and you know, if you're wearing a backpack,
Yeah.
you got shoulder straps,
Yeah.
and you're bleeding out your ears, it's going to be all over those.
But
straps.
you don't touch your shoulder straps. You go to the back.
But if
took the backpack.
if the lone survivor had
No, she
to
had to
grab
get
supplies, she might have been touching blood and had to wipe it off on herself.
Yeah.
Would you, if you had a choice?
Are you trying to throw another theory that she murdered all of them?
No. But there's a lot of questions with her because it's only based on what she reported and what they found.
If
Yeah.
you had a choice, if you were going back to where, say,
She didn't like eat them or anything.
No. But
Whoa, why do we go there?
Well, that's why I thought she'd be covered in blood, is because she was hungry and had no food.
No.
She had to eat somebody.
okay, let's say that Mark Lish and I just bled from our eyes and ears and died on the side of a mountain.
Okay.
And you hiked away.
And you had stuff in your backpack.
You slept for the night and you came back.
Yeah.
Now,
There's a question on how I could sleep.
all
with
three
my
of us
friends
have
dead,
backpacks, you know,
Yep.
hiking packs on.
but- Yep.
Would you, A,
Yeah.
take the backpack off
No.
to investigate it?
No.
Or you would rummage through it attached to our dead bodies?
I would literally just grab the backpack, roll you onto your stomach, and get the stuff I need out of the backpack.
See, I would be like, I'm not near that body. I'm grabbing the backpack, pulling till I get it off, and
And you could also cut the straps. You could also cut the straps right off and pull it off.
that wouldn't be at the top of my mind.
Like, so I would do it. I would do it that way so I don't get covered in blood.
Unless you don't have a knife or anything, so
Right.
How
It's in
would
the
you cut it
backpack.
off?
Well, she's an experienced hiker. I don't know. It's in the backpack. That's why I would just roll you on your stomach and get stuff out of the backpack.
It's not so much that they were
'Cause you're
experienced
dead.
hikers. I mean, they were
Never go hiking with Nash.
Yeah, they were
I
hiking
could
with her
cook
for
you
a
and eat
while.
you.
Oh no.
Yeah, if you die, I won't, because why did you die? I don't know. But at the same time, I'm not going to touch your body.
You're more worried that we could be radioactive, or
I'll get what I need out of the backpack and boogie.
Yeah.
And if it's 3-4 days out in the woods, I can last 3-4 days out in the woods. I don't really need to eat. I got plenty of reserves.
Without a protein deficiency.
Without a protein deficiency, I could be just fine. Couple of kind bars and I'm good to go.
Speaking of just fine, why don't you go to paranormalpunchers.com. You find all the ways to follow the show. And who knows, we might have some cool things coming your way. That's it. We're done with this topic. Done listening to the boys argue.
It's clearly spirits. Very clearly spirit
gas.
possessions.
We
Spirit
are
possessions.
so excited to be back.
Yeah.
yeah.
And thank you so much for, convincing us to keep doing the show.
Yeah,
you are amazing.
And on the serious side, I mean, the support you guys gave in your post
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
was
God,
was
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That was
Yeah.
really, really kind. And that's what brought us back, really.
And thanks for giving us the chance to continue with these episodes,
Yeah.
Right.
and with the openness of the next episodes.
Right.
So maybe you'll listen to both. Maybe you'll only
Yep.
listen to one.
Right.
Either way, can't thank you all enough.
Yeah. Yes. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
And hey, it's 2024, but we're not changing a thing. Because remember, if it's not weird,
It's not worth checking out.